Hi guys, it's Rob from Rollerballs. I've got quite a few videos lined up for you over the next week or so, but let's kick it off with my Gen 2 Ironman clutch, the reduced pattern clowns with Orange Dream in them. Certainly one of my favourite clutches from the whole year, and I know many of you like them too. Rather than just review the hatchlings, I thought it'd be a good idea to let you guys know what I'm thinking in terms of a forward plan. What genes would I add and why would I add them? And what do I think the effect of that's going to be? And you'll see that a lot of these projects are actually parallel projects. Batman would be a parallel project, and you can see how this would fit together with a potential Batman spin-off. So this guy here is Ironman Light. He is a leopard Enchi Orange Dream clown, and we're pretty certain that he's Orange Dream without the yellow belly, which Ironman has, because he's nowhere near as bright as the snakes with yellow belly. He also does not have pastel. You can see the very distinctive head stamp there, with leopard putting in the front part and Enchi putting in the back part of the head stamp, but very, very condensed. Orange Dream tends to make the dorsal stripe even more condensed than it would normally be. He has some leopard dots down the side, and his belly is an orangey yellow colour with this kaleidoscope effect, sort of yellow and purples. So this is the father, this is Ironman Light. The snake here is what I'm calling Gen 2 Ironman. He's the one with the classic head stamp. So this is Leopard Super Enchi Orange Dream. This guy is really, really clean. Just look at that awesome back stripe pattern. Very, very clean sides, very few dots down the side. And again, slightly orangey, iridescent belly. Very, very clean. The Super Enchi just gives this thing an awesome pattern. Just look at that, guys. That's really, really clean. Really pleased with the way that this snake has turned out. So this is the Leopard Super Enchi Orange Dream Clown, or Gen 2 Ironman. And this guy here we have as an Enchi Orange Dream. We have not seen yellow belly in any of the hatchlings. So this guy has got fantastically brighter as he's aged. And the rear of the snake, you'll see the dorsal stripe is again quite compact, with that sort of dotted leopardy tiger stripish tail, and you can see the typical Orange Dream little dots down the side. The dorsal stripe is very orange. The head stamp is also very orange with a dot. We do have these bars with whitish flames up the side, so we've got oranges here and we've got white flames here. And if we have a look at the belly, this is the only one that has this digital edge markings, which actually look very reminiscent of yellow belly. If we look at the tail does have the Orange Dream train tracks. But this animal is so bright. So we are calling this Enchi Orange Dream, and I have had a look on Morph Market to do the comparisons, and to be honest, it's very, very difficult in this combination to see any yellow belly, so we're saying he hasn't. So this girl here is Pepper Potts. She is a pastel Leopard Enchi Orange Dream yellow belly clown, and she is so much brighter than Ironman Light And it's that that's a giveaway in all the clutches that we've had so far. Orange Dream and Yellow Belly together are so much brighter, but it is a little bit confused by Pastel. You can see that Pastel does add a little bit of the dirtiness here in the dorsal area, but still a magnificent coloured snake. So this one does have yellow belly. And actually her belly is completely clear. There are no dots, dashes or oranges, and that's because of the Pastel. So no help there. This one, for my money, is the pick of the bunch, and we think this is Pastel Leopard Enchi Orange Dream Clown. So not the Super Enchi, just Leopard Enchi. The Pastel gives this distinctive hollow head stamp, but it's the Orange Dream that makes it really black and high contrast. You can see that she has the typical moustache of leopard. She has the dots down the side that leopard brings. She has this really tight dorsal stripe, particularly at the rear of the snake, that ends again in these tiger stripes. If we look at the belly, you can see there are some edge markings, but Pastel is what wipes out and cleans out all the belly markers. You cannot see any of the belly markers that you would normally expect when you put Pastel into the mix. If we look at the dots down the side, some of them are very orange and some of them are quite white. Very, very clean snake, this one, with a very tight dorsal stripe. There are hardly any drips down the side, and that's the combination of leopard, enchi and orange dream together, really tightening up that dorsal stripe. And Pastel has just made this thing magnificent. This has the right version of Pastel in it. It's a good expression of that Pastel, and for my money this is the nicest of the 4 snakes that we think have orange dream in them. This is a female, and obviously this one is the pick of the bunch and is a holdback. Now another very orange snake is this one. This does have the white lips of Pastel. It has the leopard moustache, and it has a very, very tight, well-defined head stamp, washed out or hollowed out by the Pastel. The dorsal stripe on this one, unlike the last one that we saw, is not continuous. Very, very tight, but it's broken, and I believe that this is actually Pastel Leopard Super Enchi Orange Dream. So this is actually the one with the most genes in it, but this one is a little bit grubby looking. You can see the dusty look on the dorsal stripe here and down the sides. It's got a very dusty colour. The sides of the snake do brighten up, and there are very few dots down the side because this is the Super Enchi version. And you can see how broken up the dorsal stripe is towards the rear. And it also has this pattern here, which the other Super Enchi has as well, this zigzag pattern here on the dorsal at the front end. So this is the full house. This is the powerhouse male, but a slightly grubbier looking example. I would have wished for this one to be a little bit brighter, but I think we can clean all of these snakes up by adding an extra dose of Orange Dream and adding Yellow Belly. Fire would also work quite well in these combinations. You can see the belly on this guy is completely white. Again, it's Pastel that's wiping out all of those belly markers. Some of the snakes that we produced in that clutch did not contain Orange Dream. This is an example of a Pastel Enchi. We got 2 of these, one with a more reduced pattern, and we got a Pastel Super Enchi, which is the guy that we're using in our hatchling handling experiments. He's actually in shed at the moment, but this is an example of what the snakes would look like without Orange Dream. A lot more yellow and the dorsal stripe is not orange anymore. The dorsal is more yellowy or silver. So yes, we did produce some non-orange dream versions. This actually is pastel enchi, just like Mum, and this snake would also benefit from exactly the same genes that I want to add to the Ironman project. So the genes that we're about to talk about will also be a useful addition for this guy. So one of the genes that I would like to add into this reduced clown orange dream project is black pastel, and this female here is homegrown, and unfortunately this year it appears that she reabsorbed. She was actually being paired to Ironman Light, so we're going to have to try again later this year with her. She is actually building condition again. But black pastel and orange dream, I think, as everyone knows, is a fantastic combination. It looks almost allelic, although we know that it isn't. So black pastel is one gene that I want to add into this project because I think it will give us a greater depth of colour. Dark genes always give higher contrast and more colour into our snakes. So black pastel is one thing I would love to add. And let me just illustrate that with this guy here. This guy came from a camo sable to an orange dream yellow belly. It isn't actually a clown, but this is exactly the effect that I want to produce in those reduced clowns when we add the dark gene. This has sable in it. It's a pinstripe sable orange dream yellow belly, and you can see the depth of colour that this guy has, and that's with the addition of sable, which is another dark gene. Black pastel would do the same thing. Cinnamon would probably also do the same thing. So if we just compare the colour of our Gen 2 Ironman with this guy, how much better would this guy be if he was this sort of orange? So again, that's the reason we want to add a dark gene. And as you can see from many of the dark genes, in this combination with leopard and enchi, it is not going to affect the pattern too much. So I feel pretty confident that adding that dark gene will not actually bring back too much pattern. It will just add colour. So here we go. I don't want to disturb this guy too much, but we talked about adding yellow belly and fire back into the project. This guy here is actually het for clown, and I produced him by breeding a fire clown male to a cinnamon Mojave female, and this is a cinnamon fire male. He is het for clown, so we're one step closer, but this is a great example of a gene combination that I think would really benefit our Ironman project. Cinnamon and fire gives you the cleanliness of fire plus the added colour and contrast of cinnamon. So this guy ate yesterday, so I don't want to mess with him too much, but he is growing up in the racks now and will be available probably later this year as he gets older. And I also have other things to do with these cinnamon fire Mojave het for clown combinations. I've kept back 4 of them. I actually have 3 females and 1 male, and I'll be doing different things with them. But that's another example of what I would consider to be a really interesting pairing to an Ironman female. This would add fire and cinnamon. Another really interesting combination that we need to get into the Ironman project is this girl. Unfortunately the male is in shed, so I'll use this female as an example. This is a spot nose yellow belly clown. So we'd be adding yellow belly and we'd be adding spot nose, and you can see how busy spot nose is. So adding spot nose is almost certainly going to add pattern back into the Ironman. I don't think we can expect to keep it quite as clean-sided as it was, but we also have the possibility, because there is leopard in Ironman, adding spot nose gives us Batman combinations. So we've got a double avenue here. We can add spot nose to the double Enchi reduced pattern clown and see what that does, but at the same time some of the byproducts will be Batman combinations. So there's something else that I want to add to our Ironman combos. This girl is a spot nose, a yellow belly clown, and the advantage of actually using Ironman Light to produce the clutch that I just produced is there's no yellow belly in it. At least we don't think there is. So I can confidently use a snake that does have yellow belly in it without worrying about producing ivories. So this combination, and I do have a male but he's in shed, is actually a really good pairing for a female Gen 2 Ironman. Spot nose, yellow belly clown. And obviously pairing the right combination Ironman to another Ironman gives us a shot at producing a super Enchi, super Orange Dream version of Ironman. And I think the super Orange Dream version is going to work wonders with this combination. We're going to get a really bright snake, but we're going to reduce a lot of the dirtiness along the sides here. And I want to produce that combination both with and without pastel, and with and without fire, to see just how clean we can make these snakes. This is not about adding too many more genes. This is about improving the quality of the existing Gen 2 Ironman, producing a better version, not necessarily a different gene stack. Vanilla would be a useful add to this project, both a cleaning and brightening gene. Vanilla screen clown variants would be awesome. I do actually have plenty of vanilla power in my collection already, plenty of vanilla clowns to choose from, but this girl here that I produced last year, late last year, is an Enchi Super Vanilla. So using her would ensure that vanilla gets into every one of her offspring, so a more powerful alternative. You can see how vanilla gives that awesome head stamp, the whitish head stamp. Super Vanilla gives a fantastic creamy colour, and this is obviously an Enchi clown. The head stamp is clearly Enchi and the back pattern is also Enchi. So Vanilla tends not to mess so much with the pattern, which is another bonus of using Vanilla versus using Fire. Fire is a pattern reducer. Vanilla tends not to mess with pattern so much. So another powerhouse female here with the right gene combination for doing something together with Ironman. And of course Red Stripe, this Red Stripe clown currently at ARP, would give an added richness and redness of colour. We'll see what ARP produces from her this year. And of course anything with red stripe in it takes us a step closer to the Pompeii, so another useful add to this project. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. Drop down in the comments section and let me know which of those potential follow-on pairings you prefer, what genes you would like to see added and why. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe. There are plenty more videos to come, so stay tuned and we'll see you next time.